But though enshrined in the Nigerian constitution, naturalizing as a citizen can be a daunting task for many foreigners or their children born within the country. Also, for many Nigerians, citizenship seems limited to an individual state of origin and not places of birth or residences. Now, in the story, Just Nigeria's Wale Fakile travels across Nigeria to tell the stories of some Nigerians being treated as outsiders in their states of residence. He also examines relevant laws and bursts popular misconceptions about citizenship and social inclusion in Nigeria. Have a look.
The first thing you notice is the sound, not just the noise of travel, but of joy and hope. This is Nigeria in motion, people searching for a place that feels like home. But motion isn't the same as belonging.
For me, living in Kano for almost more than 30 years and yet still seeing myself as a stranger.
I applied for different roles actually, and I didn't get any feedback.
If they know say now visitors you be, especially we Northerners, they used to tell us about key.
In Nigeria, two invisible gates control who belongs. For some, the barrier is paperwork, and for others, it's where your parents are from. If you're on the wrong side of either rule, home can feel like borrowed space.
I know be Oyibo. Nah, I know be real Oyibo na Naija boy I dey be.
Born in Jos, capital of north-central Nigeria's Plateau State, Wale has lived and worked in Nigeria almost all his life. He spent part of his earliest years in northeastern Taraba State, and his first words were in Hausa. To his utter shock, he says his application for citizenship was denied when he was 16.
I went in and I said, hey, I'd like to apply for my Nigerian citizenship. And I mean, the immigration officer looked at me and just kind of looked confused. And then he said, okay, hold on. So he went and actually brought in a bunch of other people from the secretariat and said, oh yeah, ask me again now. And so I said again, okay, I'm here to apply for my Nigerian citizenship. And literally, you know, there were, I don't know how many people, probably 20, 30 people, and they just laughed.
On paper, the path to naturalization in Nigeria sounds clear.
Maybe you have been married here, you have business here, of course you'll be eligible. But even that eligibility is subject to what the state wants at that point in time.
But the reality is long and winding.
You have to first get an approval from your local government chairman. You have to get approval from your state governor. You have to get approval from your traditional ruler. And then it goes all the way to the presidency, and the cabinet discusses the files and then makes a decision, and then the president signs it.
I know that feeling too. I complain about Lagos, the traffic, the pace. I'd rather live in another state or geopolitical zone. But I can't, because if there's a crisis, I'm not from there, and I'm not from here either.
Even for Nigerians, movement doesn't guarantee welcome. Ugochukwu Onuba has lived and worked in northwestern Kano State for close to 30 years. He raised all his children here, yet he says he's still seen as a visitor from southeastern Anambra State.
There is a level you operate as someone that is not an indigenous here in Kano. So you cannot be free like the way you do there in your own state.
We put Ugochukwu's concern to this community leader who upholds tradition here.
There is someone that can come and stay, not long, but his contribution to the community, especially in terms of education, in terms of commercial aspect, because Kano is a commercial city. At the same time, the security of the place, you are being seen as one of the community indigenous. But the truth is, the rest see him always as a stranger.
Fumilayo Adeniyi was born in Anambra State and has resided here for decades. The Nigerian law does not see her as an indigene despite speaking impeccable Igbo language.
when this government just came in, that's Professor Soludo's government. I applied for different roles actually, and I didn't get any feedback.
We see strangers as neighbors, we see them as people who has come to assist in developing the town, but we abhor the idea of criminality.
Rita Mabu is from North Central Plateau State and has lived in Southwestern Ekiti State for years. Her experience has been a mixed bag.
They used to tell us aboki. If you go to market, can price something, they know say you know hear their language. They go use that in cause you. If they say this so amount where we used to sell our thing, we say I price them. They say 10,000, I price them 8,000. They go tell you say Olorubuku or Mali.
There's nothing we do that we did not include the non-indigens. More so if they have lived with us for at least decades. And we used to include them. But there are areas, there are no go areas. We have custom and traditions.
Section 42 of our Constitution makes it clear that no Nigerian citizen shall be discriminated against on the basis of sex, ethnicity, indigenship, religion, or what have you. It's a constitutional provision.
And yet, there are exceptions. Take former Senator Grace Bent, originally from southwestern Osun State, but married into northeastern Adamawa State. She didn't just settle there, she ran for office and won twice. Her case raises a question. If politics can bypass cultural boundaries, why can't the same openness extend to ordinary citizens?
I think it's a deliberate political construct to make sure there remains an existential disarticulation between constitutional provision and the political practices.
Then there's confusion about what our law really says about citizenship and belonging. Let's break them down.
Nigerian women cannot pass citizenship to their children. The truth, they can. No gender restriction for children. Foreign husbands and wives have equal paths to citizenship. No, they don't. Foreign wives have a faster route, while Nigerian women cannot automatically transfer their citizenship to their foreign husbands. 15 years of residence means automatic citizenship. The truth, it's just the minimum before you can even apply, and there's no guarantee.
Deputy Speaker of Nigeria's House of Representatives, Ben Kalu, introduced an indigenship bill to redefine belonging by birth, 10 years of residence with tax records or marriage. It also made provision for women married to indigents for 5 years to gain indigent status and retain it after death or divorce. After widespread backlash over fears of multiple indigentship and threats to state identity, the bill was withdrawn. Otive Igbuzo was Chief of Staff to the Deputy Senate President of the 9th National Assembly.
The Constitution mentioned the word indigent only in one place. Section 147, subsection 3, when the Constitution was talking about appointment of a minister from each state who shall be an indigent of that state. And the Constitution does not really define who an indigent is.
Some political watchers urge states to legislate inclusion locally, not through constitutional change.
We can decrease the years of issue of this indigenship from 10 years to that 5 years. The bill is good because it will show our level of amalgamation and brotherhood between especially the two parts of the country, the northern part of the country and the southern part of it.
The challenge with indigenship is not really the constitutional provisions, it's the practice by governments and by communities and by institutions.
When belonging is withheld, people limit their investments, avoid certain states, and carry a constant sense of vulnerability.
Somebody wants to invest where there's no certainty, there's instability, there's no room for innovation. So they would like to be working in your particular environment and be repatriating or be taking away the money, the investment to another place.
This isn't new. From colonial times to state creation, Nigerian identity has been tied to origin stories, to sons of the soil. But in a country of over 200 million people, that idea has been tested daily.
There's a lot of laws and regulation and legislation on the books in Nigeria that actually have origins in the colonial period, and often designed in a way that was designed based on a misreading of local culture.
Post-colonial period also, there were times when political inclinations or political parties or political administration warranted the creation of more boundaries. Let me just give you an example. The Midwestern states were created out of the Western states, and this created also more ethnic rivalries.
Many people are using 18th century concept to live in the 21st century. When you are residents in a place and you pay taxes to a place and you are a citizen of the country, you should have all the rights and privileges and entitlements and responsibilities of a citizen.
There's not that many of us. It's probably a few thousand, who are either born in Nigeria or spent many, many years there and have contributed and want to contribute. Why not give us that chance? Why not allow us to do that? It's not that big numbers. It's not like we're going to overrun the country.
We have to look at the role of education and how we educate. Because if people are aware that politics or government is a machinery through which the administration of the state is governed and it delivers public good for the people. So there is no poverty of competence or capacity in ethnicity or religion.
Belonging isn't something you stamp. It's something you live, recognize, and defend. One Nigeria can only work if it means all Nigerians. And that means no one should be afraid to live where they feel most at home. Wale Fakile, Just Nigeria.